Hello, Potato, and welcome to Weekend Magic for February the 25th, 2023. So, we are back to Disney this week. As you can see, the hat is back. We're doing Disney stuff this week. We took a couple weeks off to look at some action figures, but we've got new Disney stuff in this week, so we're going to do a Disney video this week. So, Monday, just a few days ago, we saw the release of part one of the Disney Decades Collection, the new continuity collection from ShopDisney, Disney Parks, Walt Disney Company, however you want to look at it. I'll go with ShopDisney because Disney stores really aren't a thing anymore. And while they do sell, I'm sure they're going to have this at the parks. It seemed like it was pretty spotty when it came to the Mickey Mouse and Main Attraction stuff. At least when I was there in December, they were like missing the most recent, like anything from the most recent collection at that time. Now, Disney Decades is a little bit different than what they've been doing over the last 5 or 6 years. They've been since, 2018? So I guess last 4 years, 5 years, whatever. Since 2018, they were doing kind of a monthly releases, a set day every month. Of course, 2020 threw that all into disarray. The world ended. Minnie Mouse Main Attraction was a mess. What was after that? Oh, I've totally blanked it out. Stitch Crashes was both ugly and a mess. And Mickey Mouse Main Attraction didn't start out cleanly, but they got it all in line by the end. All of the 2022 collection did actually get released in 2022, even if it didn't all arrive until 2023. Now, oddly, before that, the thing that started us on these continuity collections was the, may it rest in peace, Disney Store 30th Anniversary series, which was not monthly, but weekly over 10 weeks. And they had released pin sets for that, with 3 pins in each set for 10 sets, for 1 pin for each year. And that's what got us started on these continuity collections. As we went in there, like the week before that set started, we saw the display of the first 3 pins and of the backpack, and we thought, look, we can do that. We can try that. That would be cool. And nope, that was a total rabbit hole that has led us to where we are today. Now, I've been very blunt about the fact that I would be quite happy if Disney hadn't done a continuity collection this year. They've been fairly hit or miss. Stitch was awful. Wisdom wasn't great, even though we did buy all of Wisdom. Mickey Mouse was fairly hit or miss. I mean, it kind of got cheaper towards, I feel, the latter half. I mean, maybe if I go look at the first half, they're cheap too. I don't really recall. But I certainly started noticing it more in the latter half. And even ones that looked nice still were a little cheap if you got up too close to them. So I was a little hesitant about Decades. Plus, they weren't really promoting what was going to be part of the collection that well. I found out what the pieces were going to be going through other sites, not from anything actually from Disney. And basically what you have this year, and I may forget a piece because we didn't buy all of it, you have ears, a pin, a backpack, a toy, which that's the one I find most intriguing. And there was something else, wasn't there? Oh, magic bands? Well, let me look, because last time I checked, everything except for the backpack was actually still available on ShopDisney. So let me go back to ShopDisney and look. Give me just a second here. Oh, plush. How could I forget plush? And as of this recording, actually the whole collection is available still. Last time I looked, the backpack had sold out, but as of my recording this, the backpack, the ears, the magic band, the pin, the boat, and the plush are all available. If you don't believe me, here. That's my phone. So, I'm feeling that this set is not off to a great start, for at least as far as Disney's going to look at it. Now, as far as the quality of merchandise goes, well, that's what we're going to find out for some of it. So it came out on Monday, and on Thursday afternoon, this arrived at my doorstep, which is very, very fast. I'm very pleased with that. I don't know, maybe somebody at ShopDisney's realized that I do these videos and would prefer to do them like the week it comes out, because maybe that helps, I don't know, maybe helps somebody buy more. I can't imagine that they care about a channel with 530 subs, but it seems very unusual for ShopDisney to get things here in like literally 3 days. That's what, ordered Monday, which was also a holiday, no less. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's 3 days. I didn't pay for special shipping or anything. I actually did the free shipping. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed with that from the start. Now, the question is, will I remain impressed? Well, let's find out by opening the box. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to leave the box here. You can't see anything. We have, of course, the magic Shop Disney paper. We have a coupon code, which is good from the 1st to the 31st. My next purchase is $60 or more with like a small essay worth of exclusions in the bottom. And then we have the items we purchased. Now, we did not buy the plush this year. We have enough plush. These are only 10-inch plush, so they're gonna be a little bit shorter than the ones they've been doing. But you get 2 of them. But we're not doing that. We skipped out on those. At least for the first set, we skipped out on those. And I feel like if we skipped on the first one, we probably are gonna skip out on all of them. We didn't buy the ears either. My wife was not impressed with the ears, and I'm not an ears person. So we did not get the ears. Didn't get the magic band because we don't go enough to need to have a collection of magic bands. Plus, if I got another magic band, it'd be like Haunted Mansion or something. Let's be honest. So we only got 3 things. We got the backpack, the toy, and the pin. So let's go down there and start looking at the pin. So our inaugural piece of Disney Decades, Disney 100 collection items is going to be the pin. So this pin was $30. Now, I said in last week's video, for $30 I was expecting a pretty good sized pin, like bigger than the pin from Mickey Mouse Main Attraction. As you can see, this is not a bigger pin. This is like an average sized Disney pin trading pin. Now it's thick, so maybe there's more to it. Maybe I will be impressed once we open it up here, which we'll do now. Let's look at the front here though. It is D100V223. I don't know what the V223 is. I mean, February 2023. Okay. Steamboat STMBT, or it could be Stembot. I'm going to get Steamboat Willie, Steamboat Mickey Mouse 20 limited release pin. So yeah, it is a limited release, but it was $30 for a reasonably small pin. But what's it say on the back here? It says I should recycle the packaging. Well, it's probably going to ultimately go back in the packaging at some point. But yeah, so it's thick. There's a piece of fluff in here, and there's words. We'll have to read the words. There's 2 sets of words, and since we didn't get ears and there's no key or the plush or anything, I guess we'll have to read the words off of this. So for $30, I mean, it's a nice pin. It's very shiny. It's got almost kind of like a dark graphite kind of look to it. The wheel spins, that's nice. Now, one thing I noticed in the pictures online, it seems like this bottom piece pivots down, which it feels like it does, to turn it into, I guess, a stand. All right, let's take it off the back here. 1, so we can read the words, and 2, so we can see what that does. I felt like it was probably going to be a stand, like you could stand these up like a Figma fig pin, not a Figma fig pin, a Funko fig pin. Those aren't Funko, are they? Who makes fig pins? Anyways, so yeah, the bottom here pivots out. You can see all of Mickey. And I'm assuming it's so you can do that. Let's put those back on, because I will just jam my finger right into those spikes. Or lose the backings. Neither of which is particularly preferable, and I don't want to have to go hunting for the backings. So I feel like that's the intent of this. All right, let's look at the words. There's 2 sets of words here. I'm guessing these words are probably about the same on each one, but no, I'm guessing not. Well, let's read them, and then we'll have an opinion on them. Travel back in time. through the last 100 years of the Walt Disney Company with this enchanting limited series. Crafted by Disney artists, this collection offers a chance to celebrate our most beloved characters and how they come to life on screen. From the 1920s onward, every decade captures hearts and imagination all over again. Go on a magical journey through the years with pieces that embrace the dreamer in all of us. Steamboat Willie, full steam ahead. Premiering November 18th, 1928, the famous Steamboat Willie cartoon introduced us to the icon we all know and love, Mickey Mouse. This black and white film was also the first cartoon to use fully synchronized sound with a charming whistling lead at the helm and the introduction of new audio technology. This film steered the Walt Disney Company to immense success. So now, my wife has a theory on this because she saw in some of the promotional stuff like Snow White, which would be in the 30s. But the only thing Disney's released officially so far is a picture of the next backpack, which is Bandleader Mickey. So I'm wondering, my thought was going to be that we're just going to get, like, they're going to pick a Mickey, an iconic Mickey for each decade, generally probably something from one cartoon, and that will be our, well, there, you can hide that way. That will be our focus for each collection. But my wife thinks that the Snow White is relevant. So, I mean, and the way this reads, I can actually honestly see that as a valid argument because it talks about characters. It doesn't talk about just Mickey. So I'm wondering, will the collections not all be focused around one particular thing? Is Steamboat Willie just one, like so late in the decade that they just focused on just the one thing because it's just the one thing to focus on? Or are we going to get like something for each collection? Will the collections be mixed up, in other words? Will the 30s have Bandleader Mickey as the backpack and maybe Snow White ears or a Snow White toy or a Snow White pin? I mean, I guess we'll have to wait about 3 more weeks to find, well, probably a couple more weeks. I'm sure sites will get pictures of it we can look at and not have to speculate any further. But yeah, that's our pin. And I like the pin. I liked it a lot more at 20 or 25. I mean, the hinge here does feel nice and sturdy. It does stay up. It doesn't like want to fall over, so that's nice. The wheel is nice and loose. It spins easily. He just seems really small for 30 bucks. But yeah, that's it. We need to move on to bigger stuff. There are bigger things. Let's go back up to look at them. So next we'll look at the item that I normally would save for last in these videos, and that is the backpack. This, of course, is my wife's item. I have no interest in these backpacks in general. And it was not a certain thing that we were going to get this. She was very back and forth, kind of right before the release time came, as to whether or not she wanted this. And like right now, she's not feeling it for the Bandleader Mickey. I was kind of expecting that they would all kind of have this form factor. We would have like the film reel with images from whatever decade they were focusing on. But Bandleader, unless Bandleader's not actually part of decades, he's on their site in the image for 30s decade, but maybe that's just misleading. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm sure we'll find out as we get closer to it. But yeah, this is the 1920 Steamboat Willie Mickey backpack. And came very nicely packaged. So let's take it out of the very nicely packaged packaging and take a better look at it. All right, so here it is all out of its wrapper. And let me clarify a bit. When I said it was very nicely packaged, I don't mean that the packaging was nice, like it was a nice presentation, like say the head of the staff of Raw, which came in a nice little display box. I mean that it's just very nicely packaged to protect the item with being wrapped in paper. There was more paper in between the film reel and the backing, in between this and the film reel. There's a cardboard piece. There's still paper and stuff on here I'm not taking off because I don't need to for the purposes of this video. I can speak. But the film reel does spin, and you can see Willie and the parrot and the cow and the chickens and Pete. Not the goat, oddly enough. And of course the boat itself, which I do have the lovely Lego version that came out back at the end of the 90th birthday celebration for Mickey. That's nice. It's got Mickey's all over the outside of it. Although I'm going to say I feel like those are a little more modern looking than Steamboat Willie. Those don't look like they're actually Steamboat Willie to me. They look more like between 80s and present to me. And it's not like different ones. Usually, you know, they do these, they'll do like Plain Crazy Mickey and Steamboat Willie Mickey and like 80s Mickey and 90s Mickey. And it looks like these are all, and I guess that does look like Steamboat Willie era Mickey. The other one's just, maybe it's just because it's so small, or maybe just my eyes stink, I don't know. It does say Disney 100 decades on the back. That sounds misleading. Disney 100 underline decades, not 100 decades. That would be a long time. What we have on the inside, we have, of course, lots of paper, but can we see the lining? Oh, the lining's nice. It's kind of the same illustrations of Mickey, but on a film strip. That's nice. It looks cute. It's very cute. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to like really be too passionate about these because, except they're not for me. I'm not. Can get a better look there, I think. Yeah, the lining is nice. Quality feels pretty good. It's that kind of faux leather that Loungefly stuff always is made out of. But yeah, it's not bad. I honestly feel that they would have done better. And again, I'm assuming the picture they showed for 30s is actually the backpack that's going to be for the 30s. I almost feel like they would have been better off just sticking to this form factor and kind of updating the pictures and stuff on it from decade to decade. But, you know, what do I know? Maybe they're going to, you know, when they get to the 40s and 50s, they'll just wow me with something really spectacular and I'll have to eat my words. And I'm sure I'll mention it if actually I'll probably have forgotten I said this stuff, but I own it. If they make something better, if the 30s is either just not the backpack they're actually making or, you know, it gets better from there. I don't know. I will own that though. Whether I'll remember to own it or not, that's a question, but if I remember, I'll own it. But yeah, this is nice. This is a nice Loungefly, another one to add to the collection. And that leaves just one more item. And that is the one that honestly interested me the most. Oh, Mickey fell over. Stand up. It's the whole point of you having a stand, isn't it? Our last item is the one that interested me the most. And I was torn on buying it in the same way my wife was buying the backpack. Because it's $60. But it's also kind of like literally what I've been asking them to do for a few years now. And that is the toy. And I think we need to lower the camera, so hold on a second. There we go, that's better. The Disney 100 Decades Steamboat Willie musical boat. Now, online it said this was tin. I gotta say, it looks fairly plasticky to me on the picture here. But oh good, there's words on the back here, and I could just have read this. This is the same text from inside the pin. But we have a new third paragraph, so I guess going forward, if I keep buying the toy, I will have to just read off the back of the toy. In celebration of the Walt Disney Company's rich history, this Steamboat Willie tin toy invites you to climb aboard with Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, plus other characters. Tin toys were beloved during the time of this film's premiere, and this unique piece goes full steam ahead with darling design details to recapture that nostalgia. Float along with Mickey and Minnie, plus more classic characters as you recreate the timeless fun. Okay, the classic characters this comes with are the cow and the goat, which is why I was kind of surprised the goat didn't appear on the backpack. And now that I think about it, I'm kind of surprised Pete doesn't appear in this. So, now that wording makes me wonder, are we going to have toys that are themed to the decades, not just 10 months of tin toys? Because admittedly, once you get past about the 40s, that really wouldn't make sense anymore. Particularly if you get like the 80s and 90s. Are we going to see, like for the 80s, will we get like an action figure playset or something? I am now even more intrigued with the toy concept than I was before. This is series 1 of 10, and we are going to open the box and thereby ruin the resale value of it as a collector's item. But I mean, if these are cool, this may eventually find a shelf spot. Maybe in here, maybe somewhere else. Oh, there's tape on the sides here as well. And one more over here. Oh, this has batteries in it. So I was thinking it'd be like a wind-up tin toy, because tin toys were traditionally wind-up. But this has battery instructions on the bottom there. I recognize I've seen those instructions on things before. Can we get this out without totally destroying the box? I don't. You know, let me. Well, let's slide it out and see what we're looking at, and then decide if we need to do a cut here or not. Oh, it's cable tied in place. Yeah, we need to do a cut here. All right, we're out of the box now, and I don't like it when they cable tie things in nowadays, because I mean, there's now no way I can put this back in the box exactly as it was. Also, the little figurines were in a plastic baggie, so that also had to be cut open. But that's fine. I'm not planning on reselling this, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just, it's nice when you can put things back as like mint as possible. So I had wondered at $60 how big this would be, and the answer is not terribly, but not overly small either. I think that's probably a normal price for a collectible of this size. The figurines are very small, and unfortunately, both Mickey and Minnie stand at kind of odd angles. I don't know if maybe they got like warped in shipping, but it doesn't really look like it. But the thing is that they don't like the tablecloth. Mickey's a little bit better, but even if he's like, he's got like a backwards lean to him, so he wants to fall over. I don't know if, will that be easier on the deck of the ship? The deck of the ship does not look super flat. Yeah, the deck of the ship actually looks really warped, if I'm being honest. We have our cow and our goat. Our goat, I think, is massively oversized, but it's also in the position where Mickey cranks the tail to make it lay turkey in the straw, or part of it. But they're nicely detailed, nicely painted, or molded, or whatever. I feel like that should probably have been a different color, but that's fine. Because see on here, the cow's little neck tag is white, not the same color as the cow's skin. But the detailing is nice, the sculpt is nice. We do have like the whole cutout for Mickey's mouth. You can like make out the individual fingers on Minnie. Again, I feel like the hat, the flower shouldn't just be plain white. But that's not a particularly big deal. Also comes with a little Steamboat Willie sign. Now, I thought first from the picture this was just like a sign, but it's actually the key. Now, we have instructions here, but I shouldn't need instructions for a wind-up toy, should I? Only thing I would expect to maybe see is, since it sounded like, yeah, there's a battery case on it, so I probably have to turn it on. And then we should be able to wind it up and it should go, right? Well, it doesn't like rolling on the tablecloth here, but as you can see, it does wobble back and forth as it rolls. It just doesn't like going at all, does it? I'm going to take the key out. Because that key post there is not really centered. I think the key maybe was rubbing. Well, I think the sound is very, very loud. I don't know how Mike's picking that up, but... Okay, I think part of it is the key was just rubbing there. So let's turn that music off. So the music sounds atrocious, but to be fair, that's how the music sounds in the cartoon. So yeah, we have wobbling wheels down here. It doesn't feel like a 1920s tin toy. It does feel like a very modern interpretation of one, which that's kind of to be expected. It's got a lot of plastic on it. That's plastic. The rudder's plastic. The flag's plastic. The whistle pipes are plastic. So the wheels are, of course, plastic. That's the series 1 of 10 on the bottom. So it's almost more inspired by a 1920s tin toy than it actually is a tin toy. Now, it was on the box. In the box, it shows Mickey and Minnie actually standing on the deck of the ship, which, honestly, that seems to me like kind of the weakest point. It curves up fairly sharply here at the back and at the front. Like, it's just, like, there's an issue with design. So Mickey was standing about here, which is probably, No, he was, yeah, I guess about that angle. But Minnie's over here, and I don't think she's going to stand up over here. I think she's going to fall right over. I guess maybe they have her sort of leaning against, if I lean her against the wall a little bit. And the goat is quite a bit out of scale, honestly. Let's put Minnie over here as well. No, she actually stands up pretty well there. Until I jostle the boat and then she falls overboard. You can't put everybody on the boat at the same time. So that's just not going to happen. So this is a piece I was both most interested in and most cautious about. And as a shelf display item, I think it looks nice. I think this would look good up on a shelf. I mean, obviously you're not going to really play with it. You're going to show somebody what it does like one time and then, never do it for them again. Because it doesn't sound great. But again, to be fair, if you go watch that cartoon on Disney Plus, it doesn't sound great there either. That's like legitimately what it sounds like. So honestly, for the size of it, the speakers aren't bad. Now, I'm sure if you tried to run something that sounded good normally through it, that would probably reveal just how cheap the speakers are. I feel overall, because you can't see it in the picture, but I can see the Steamboat Willie Lego build. And, obviously I like the Lego build better. This is actually the angle I have the build out on the shelf. The Lego feels a little more detailed. But for a tin toy, again, tin toys didn't generally have a ton of detail. They were like as flat as possible. They had all the variations in surface angle of like a PlayStation 1 game. So it's a little hard to give a final opinion on this. It's better than I feared, but not as good as I had hoped. It's smaller than I was kind of expecting, which, I feel like that may be just going to be a running theme for this collection. But the details on the sculpt on the figures are very nice, especially for how small they are. I don't like that I had to cut it out of the box, because looking at it now, I don't feel like this is probably going to get a shelf space unless the whole collection does, and it's got some real variety to it. But I'm not disappointed. I'm definitely intrigued to see what the rest of the collection is going to be. Is that tin too? Nope. The smokestacks feel like they are plastic. That's tin. Yeah, that's plastic. That's also where the speakers are, I believe, or at least that one is. Is that a speaker? I think maybe just that one. Oh, let's turn it back on and find out. Oh, helps to. It seems like it only does it. If I roll it, will it just go on its own? No. You have to actually, I think, wind it up to trigger the music. Oh, that's. Yeah, I think the speaker's just in that one. That is just, in a quiet space, that is just phenomenally loud, though. But that's kind of cool. It's a series I was hesitant on. I am still a little hesitant on going forward. But we started, so I feel like unless it really defecates in the bed, I feel like it's probably a series we're going to get the other 9 parts. But hey, at least it's only 9 more parts and not 11 more parts. I wish Minnie stood up. I don't want to the rubber on this is not super pliable feeling. I don't want to kind of try to coax her back into a better position because I'm afraid I'll snap her legs off. But it's a little subpar, but it's still cool. And I think, if you're putting it on a shelf and not not get too close to it, not handle it too much, it's perfectly competent. I really do like the sculpt on the figures. I think those may be the best part of this, is the little figurines are nicely done. The boat, I kind of feel like they should have committed more and gone for more of a full tin, although I feel like on a proper tin toy, you wouldn't have this at all. That piece wouldn't be there, and these may or may not go up and down, and you certainly wouldn't have the music. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this. I'm largely interested to see what this is going to turn into. Is this going to be a tin toy for each year, or decade rather, or are we going to get a toy appropriate to, or at least a toy inspired by toys appropriate to that era? That's the kind of thing I'm most interested in at this point. Overall, everything here is fine. The backpack's actually quite nice. The pin is nice if overpriced. The tin toy, I definitely applaud them doing something different. It's not a key, it's not a coffee cup or a journal. So I applaud them doing something different. I just hope they get better from here and not worse. If they get worse, that's going to be an issue. If they get better, better's better. But that is the 1920s for Disney decades, the first collection, the parts of it that we bought. Again, I could see maybe doing some of the ears where I find some that like really impress her, but I feel like in general the ears are out. The backpacks are always, depending on how they look, because they're too expensive just to buy them. But the pins, I feel like we'll commit to the pins, and probably the toys. Again, unless the toys like really, really go awful. But yeah, not a bad start. I'm not like over the moon about it or anything, but it's certainly a competent entry to a collection, and it's Steamboat Willie, and Steamboat Willie stuff is always kind of cool. I'm assuming when we get to the appropriate decade, we'll get a Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But that wraps up this. I hope you found it at all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Play us out, Steamboat Willie. Or not.